Okay, well, we were driving through this area here, and this old school caught my attention. Firstly, by the kind of vintage architecture and color schemes, and then, of course, for the fact that it appeared to be closed or abandoned. So, you put those two things together, and it was time for a little exploration. During our exploration, I was able to determine that the ECC on the sign stood for Early Childhood Center. So this would be the Louisa Wright Early Childhood Center. And I found the way that it's laid out is kind of interesting with this vintage or older style, all the classrooms facing out into different courtyards or just along the length of the building with these giant windows so you can see right into all the classrooms. I thought that was kind of interesting. I hadn't really seen a school that's ever been laid out like that before, so I kind of find that a little bit fascinating. Here we see some of the artwork left behind by, I'm guessing, the children, or maybe just maybe some local people in the community. Hard telling. Nothing derogatory or profane, so I'm hoping it was all from the kids. And that's apparently what somebody thought of the school's old VCR player. There's really nothing sadder than an abandoned playground, and there's like two of them here at this center. This is the first one. We'll take a closer look at here in a little bit. It's kind of interesting when you think today that a lot of schools are set up like fortresses or, have heavy security, that there were schools like this with these open air classrooms. There's some more of the children's artwork. Apparently little paper fishes of some sort. So getting back to that, I'm not exactly sure how many schools you would actually see designed quite like this today, with all this access to the outside, especially since this property appears to never have had a fence around it or anything like that, So once the children were outside, they were pretty much outside and could go wherever they want. It's apparently a semi-rural school, but it is also in a just inside of a city or a little village, town, or whatever you want to call it. Another little creature staring at us there through the darkness. Kind of interesting. Okay, here we're going to go ahead and make our way to the playgrounds. And again, like I said, nothing much sadder than an abandoned playground. And as you can see, this is more modern playground equipment. So I was able to determine that the school appears, just from the flyers in the windows, appears to have been open all the way up until 2016. So this actually may be the first year that they're closed, and that kind of accounts for some of the more modern playground equipment, the safer style modern equipment. But still, as modern as it may be, it's still kind of sad to see it all abandoned and with the weeds growing up around it. Let's go ahead and go on inside here and take a little closer look. Some type of little tunnel climbing structure here. Kind of cool. I'd have enjoyed that as a kid, that's for sure. Didn't have anything like that when I was a kid. And this is apparently some type of little spinning device. You could sit inside of and I guess spin. Maybe they set that out on the pavement or something, I don't know. And I guess this is just like a little fort to play in. Don't know if any of this is going to be reclaimed or not. I really have no idea. Now this little playground here, which is adjacent to the one I just showed you, has slightly older style equipment. You can see the old school strap and chain swings. These are the kind that they had when I was a kid. So I don't know if these have been here quite that long, or maybe they just kept making these things over the years, but it's kind of an old school swing set. And then over here, this is something I don't think I've ever seen before. Maybe you guys have. Maybe y'all can leave some comments down below and tell me exactly what it is. It appears to be some type of little pedal device that I guess you would just ride in circles. So not sure if it would just operate with just one child on it or if it would take more than one child to operate the thing, but I thought the thing was pretty fascinating actually. A little picnic table under this tree here, and I can only imagine over the years how many little hands were on this tree and how many times teachers had to tell children not to climb in the tree. I'm sure that happened pretty much on a regular basis. I'm sure it would have if I had attended this school. Now we're going to go ahead and make our way out of this center courtyard area where the playground equipment is and explore some of the other buildings. You know, some of the littler buildings look like they might have been added on at another time, but overall it appears the construction across the entire school is pretty consistent. So it all would have had to have been built about the same time. And I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe 70s, early 80s. I'm not exactly sure when they would have used this style of construction for a school. Maybe somebody can tell me that down below, somebody who knows a little bit more about, you know, school design or something like that. Maybe it's newer than I think it is. I don't know. Not sure if this was some type of game or just a way to learn the alphabet, but having a giant snake painted on the asphalt out here is pretty cool nonetheless. So, nice little addition to their parking lot area. The color schemes with these poles are probably what attracted my attention to this building in the first place. Just the, you know, bright primary colors, the blues, the red, yellow, green. Kind of made everything stand out. Kind of cool. Here a little cat stares at us from the pavement. And we begin to make our way back up around the furthest south side of the school here. Where again, here you see where the windows are a little bit different, where they don't come all the way down. It's encased with that brickwork, which is slightly different than some of the other parts of the building, where the appears like the windows almost go completely to the ground. So again, I don't know if this was built at a later date or added on at a later date, but it's all very similar construction. I think a lot of abandoned structures, you know, make you think about like factories, make you think about what was being built there, or different places make you think about who lived there, who the adults were. But when you start talking about abandoned schools, it really kind of hits home when you start thinking about the children who were educated at these buildings and stuff like that. it kind of makes you think about how after this school is gone, which it appears to be in a state of getting ready to be taken down, it makes you think about a lot of the ways that the children who attended this school are going to try to remember this as being their first school they ever went to, perhaps. So it kind of hits you in a different way than a typical abandoned building would, in my opinion. So Miss Armstrong, hopefully she's teaching someplace else now. And apparently somebody didn't take the advice of that note. So we'll go back and keep moving through this courtyard area here with the trees and make our way back through the buildings. And again, you can see the different architecture here where I was talking about the bricks on the other side that came underneath the windows. Here you see where there's just those panels. This is the front of the building where the administrative offices would be. You'll see that better here in a little bit. Not exactly sure why you'd have a washing machine in the hallway, but I guess that's one place you could put it. And some lone abandoned textbooks peering at us from underneath the curtain. Probably a good idea I didn't bring the longboard with me today. And here's a view of the front of the facility. Maybe the way that those arches are laid out will give somebody an idea of what the age of this actual building is, since I couldn't really find anything on it. Like I said, we're here at the administrative offices. Just working our way back around the front of the building here. Hope you're enjoying this tour and you're not too bored. If you are enjoying the tour, I'd appreciate a thumbs up like or something like that, a comment below. As we go ahead and make our way back to where we started from. Yeah, the dumpster pretty much gives away the clue that this building is not long for this world. Now I know that this is one of the longer videos that I've done, but I really didn't want to rush through this exploration. I thought that the Louisa Wright Early Childhood Center deserved a little bit of time and attention before it is cast into the annals of history. And that's all I've really got for now.